Welcome to my third book, The Ross Effect. I didn't write this book to impress you. I wrote it to help you break through. For years, I carried pain like a badge. I wore trauma like armor. I moved through life with a name that wasn't mine. Insane, a title given by the streets, shaped by survival, and rooted in a system that never meant for me to come out whole. But healing changed everything. I became Nasi Hodari, a name that means wise and strong. I became a father, a mentor, an entrepreneur, and community builder. I became the mirror I never had, a reflection of a man I wanted to be, and I created the Ross Effect to help others do the same. This book is more than a guide. It's a blueprint. It's a curriculum for transformation. It's a framework for healing, empowerment, and legacy building. Whether you're a young Black man navigating trauma, a mentor seeking tools, or a community leader building change, this book is for you. Let's begin. The Ross Effect, from pain to power. Transformation isn't just about changing your life, it's about changing your legacy. The Ross Effect was born out of lived experience, out of the lessons that shaped me, the wounds that tried to break me, and the people whose presence or absence carved out the man I am becoming. Before I explain the module, I need to honor one of the earliest and most complicated influences in my life, my father, L.H. Ross Sr., 1935-2025. His passing last year forced me to confront a truth I had avoided for decades, that a father can shape a son even when he is not there. My relationship with him was awkward, uneven, and filled with mixed emotions. Even as a grown man, I carried the child in me who wanted his father's presence. But the reality was different. My mother was the one who showed up. She visited me for over 18 of my 24 years incarcerated. She never gave up on me. My father visited me once. Yet even in his absence, he taught me something. The lessons I received from him did not come through guidance, stories, or shared moments. They came through the void where those things should have been. They came through the anger I carried as a boy growing up without him, and through the survival instincts I developed navigating the streets, jails, and penitentiaries. Guided instead by men who were present even if they were street dudes, they embraced us and raised us. It wasn't until after his death that I began to understand his backstory. A Black man born in Mississippi in the 1930s, shaped by a world that gave men like him very few tools for emotional presence or fatherhood. As I have always said, everyone has a backstory. When I finally looked at the totality of his life, I didn't find excuses, I found context, and context opens the door to compassion. Throughout my journey, I learned from many people, some intentionally, some by accident, some through pain, some through wisdom. As I wrote in Breaking Through, winning against the odds, I took a piece of each to make a whole me. My father is one of those pieces. His presence and his absence both influenced the man I became, and both helped give birth to the Ross Effect. This book is not just a framework, it is the result of a lifetime of lessons. From my childhood, my years inside, my mentors in the streets and the penitentiaries, and the healing that came from finally understanding the man who helped bring me into this world. This introduction begins with him because my journey begins with him, and the Ross Effect is part of that becoming. The Ross Effect, and the books that grew from it, was written for young men across this country who face adversities that few systems were built to solve. Neighborhoods filtered with drugs, guns, and violence, schools stretched thin, families carrying the weight of history, from the classrooms to the streets, from the streets to the penitentiary. Survival taught many of us hard lessons, and too often those lessons calcify into identities that limit us. Across my previous books, Breaking Through, Winning Against the Odds, and Breaking Through, Changing the Narrative, I argued that mindset shapes outcomes. The Ross Effect takes that idea further. It offers a structured, practice-based curriculum designed to transform mindset into concrete, repeatable habits. This book shares techniques, reflections, and exercises that guide young men to build a life plan rooted in positive goals, cultural pride, and daily practices that move them away from the subcultures that normalize violence and substance use. By the end of this series of the Ross Effect, participants will have the tools to reconsider the identity they were given or adopted and choose an identity that empowers growth. Develop a sense of culture and establish core values that anchor decisions. Set realistic goals, prioritize education, and map practical steps toward their fullest potential. Equip parents, teachers, counselors, and facilitators with clearer direction and concrete strategies to support young men through these transitions. The Ross Effect is organized around the acronym ROSSEFFECT. Each letter represents a chapter module delivering therapeutic techniques, reflective prompts, and actionable exercises to support transformation. Modules move from inward healing to outward impact, first rebuilding resilience and mindset, then amplifying purpose, community, and systems that sustain change. This is practical work, not theory. Facilitators will find step-by-step exercises, discussion prompts, and reproducible activities to use in classrooms, mentoring circles, and community programs. Participants will find honest stories, simple practices, and challenges that require consistent effort. If one life shifts, it becomes a ripple. If ripples multiply, they become a tide. The Ross Effect is a map for making that tide, for turning survival into strategy and pain into purpose. The Ross Effect is a journey, it's a framework, it's a movement. It's for every young black man who's ever been told he's too broken to be whole, too angry to be understood, too lost to be found. This guide is built from my story, from the streets to incarceration, from grief to growth, from the name Insane to the rebirth of Nasi Hodari. It's built from the pain I carried and the power I claimed, and it's written for you. Stay tuned to the next episode as we delve into the core of the Ross Effect. Thank you for watching and listening.